Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about the Sun, Sextile, or Trine Midheaven in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in a natal chart. They were a little bit concise, and some people may have referred to them as snappy. So what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is, well, if you have the Sun sextile or trine the midheaven in a natal chart, you may very easily and readily focus, which is the Sun, on career-related matters. Now, let's say, which is the midheaven. Now, if the midheaven, say, is an Aquarius, as an example, those career-related matters may be tied in with astronomy, computers, electronics, innovation, new technology, astrology, meteorology, aviation, as some examples. If the midheaven is an Aries, say, as an example, another example, you may easily focus on career-related matters that may include firefighting, the military, welding, carpentry, any career that may be associated with fire. It could also be something with like volatile sports, such as football or hockey, or the combative ones, like karate or kickboxing, judo or wrestling, as some other examples. And another thing about these aspects, if you have the Sun sextile or trine the midheaven in a natal chart, this could also indicate that you may easily shine, so to speak, which is the Sun, in business or executive positions. If the midheaven, business is tied in with the midheaven. Now the thing is, if you have the midheaven in Taurus as an example, well, those businesses may be connected with banking or finance, or something associated with a pawnbroker business or something with stockbroking. It could also be a field that's associated, with carpet laying, geology, agriculture, gardening, cultivation, as some other examples. And also, too, you really, if you have either one of these aspects, you may easily integrate, the dominant parent and older people, which is the midheaven, into your life, which is the Sun. If the Sun is in Sagittarius, as an example, it could be a life where you express a lot of exuberance, enthusiasm, optimism, one in which you spend a lot of time outdoors, maybe, or doing things that are sports related, or one that involves foreign travel, expanding horizons. And the thing too is, if you have the Sun sextile or trine the midheaven in a natal chart, there may be little difficulty in putting that attention, which is the Sun, on your social status and stature in life, which is the midheaven. And if you have your midheaven in Capricorn, you may be somebody that moves very methodically in terms of improving your social status or stature in life, and very serious about those matters, very consistent, and it has a lot of structure and discipline in doing so as well. And another thing about these aspects could also indicate having that, that confidence, which is the Sun, when expressing those qualities that are difficult to suppress or hold back, which is the midheaven. If the midheaven is in the zodiac sign Cancer, as an example, those qualities that may be difficult to suppress, maybe ones that are very nurturing, dedicated, devoted, tenacious, protective, even emotional, even sensitivity, and could be qualities that are difficult to hold back. And as an example, now another thing about these aspects, it could also manifest in the biological father, and also to dominant males in one's life, which is the Sun, may be compatible with those same qualities as well. If you have the midheaven in Leo, it could be where you have the biological father and the dominant parent being compatible, with those, those qualities, in the Leo midheaven that are difficult to suppress, being very, as an example, being very dignified, proud, extroverted, gregarious, creative, uh, also, generous, magnanimous as some examples. And also, too, if you have the sun sextile or trine the midheaven in a natal chart, you may readily, balance the activities with children, which is the sun, and the dominant parent, which is the midheaven. If the sun, say, is in Gemini, it could actually be a Gemini sun, moon, or ascendant person, or simply one that embodies those characteristics. It could be somebody, a child that's very, mercurial and vivacious, animated, versatile, multifaceted, talkative, loquacious, dexterous, as some examples. And also, too, having these aspects, the sun sextile or trine in midheaven in a natal chart, could indicate really readily having that conscious side, being cognizant, which is the sun, of your public image and reputation. It could bode well for that in understanding what to do to make sure it stays positive. And public image and reputation is, of course, the midheaven. Again, going to Aquarius as an example for the midheaven, that could be a reputation, a public image of being very friendly, considerate, unobtrusive, one that's very amicable, that does things, for many, being that universal friend, maybe a little eccentric, but, not seen in a negative way, likely because you have the positive aspect of the sun and the midheaven in this example. Now, also too, this could be where superiors and authority figures, which is the midheaven, may have a good understanding of your identity, which is the sun, the true self, which is the sun is the basic fundamental character. And if the sun, say, is in Virgo, that could be, an identity, your basic fundamental character being analytical, punctilious with details, verbose, being able to, dissect, being very systematic, methodical, organized, clean, neat, as some examples. And the thing, too, is this could also be, and I would say, too, if you have the sun sextile or trine the midheaven in a natal chart, it could be having an understanding of your identity and how it can be auspicious and advantageous to career and business related endeavors, which is the midheaven. If the midheaven is in Pisces, you may be someone that's very idealistic in regards to doing something business or career related. It could be, a business that's associated with something Pisces related, such as dancing, poetry, photography, spirituality, the metaphysical, which includes astrology, or something with oceanography, boating, chemistry, as some examples. And you may be someone, too, if you have one of these aspects in your natal chart, where you can easily find the drive and motivation, which is the sun, for your responsibilities, which is the midheaven. Now, let's say you have the midheaven in Libra, it could be responsibilities pertaining to your relationships. It may be matters with arbitration, negotiation, things that are connected with the law or art. Maybe it's even scale production. In some isolated cases, scales are connected with the zodiac sun Libra. Now, also, too, the sun sextile or trine midheaven in natal chart could be very positive in having the self-assuredness and confidence, which is the sun, to attain notoriety and recognition, which is the midheaven. If the midheaven, going to Aries as an example, again, if the midheaven is in Aries, it could be trying to attain notoriety and recognition as being, could be doing something with firefighting or the military, or even arson investigation, a profession that's connected with the head, such as helmet design or production, or even speech therapy, as some examples. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.